Hello and a very good evening to all our viewers who are joining me live in this Facebook and YouTube interaction. And today I will be speaking about the most contentious topic, which is the India-China standoff. And on Tuesday, the Indian government released a statement condemning China's aggression and also its attempt to destabilize the situation. And to speak about the current situation at the LAC, while India is committed to the disengagement and also de-escalating the situation at the LAC, China continues to undertake provocative activities to escalate the situation. On Tuesday, like I mentioned earlier, Indian Army said at no stage it had transgressed the line of actual control or the LAC or resorted to the use of any aggressive means, including firing. And this statement was issued following a tense aggressive move by China's PLA, and the Chinese army stationed at the controversial site fired warning shots, prompting India to take countermeasure in order to stabilize the situation on the ground at Pangong Tso Lake in the Ladakh area. So the Indian Army also reported that the PLA troops were attempting to close in with one of India's forward positions along the LAC, but when trying to persuade the PLA from continuing any further, the troops fired warning shots in the air in its attempt to destabilize and also threaten our Jawans who are stationed there. But like the world knows about the discipline that is vested into the core principles of the Indian Army, and the same was on display at the LAC. Despite the grave provocation, Indian troops exercised great restraint and also behaved in a mature and also a responsible manner. Whereas on Monday, the PLA released a statement stating that the Indian troops had thwarted Chinese maneuvers and occupied strategic heights on the south bank of Pangong Tso and also Rechinla. So Colonel Zhang, the spokesperson of the Western Theatre Command of the PLA, said that the Indian Army crossed the line and entered Bangonghuan, which is the western section of the Sino-Indian border, and said that we had violated the agreements. And this incident from Monday was not the first time shots were fired during the ongoing standoff. And on 31st August as well, there was a brief exchange of warning shots when Chinese troops attempted to approach and evict Indian soldiers from strategic heights in South Pangong. And it has been clarified that these two were merely warning shots and not offensive exchange of gunfire. But one thing is for sure, now the claim of not a bullet has been fired since the last over 4 decades does not stand good. And the last time shots were fired at the LAC was in the Tulungla area of Arunachal Pradesh in 1975. And it was around this time of the year in 1962 as well that China took the call to end months of eyeball-to-eyeball deployment and press ahead with an assault in October, which was already early winter. So now, in order to answer a few questions, we have with us Air Marshal B.K. Murli. Many thanks for joining me in this live interaction, Air Marshal. And my first question to you is, despite 7 meetings in a row which concluded in a brigade commander level talks on Sunday, China continues to be the aggressor and violator. So if not peacefully, how else can this issue be resolved? And do you think that India is prepared for it?
Well, Deepak, whatever that happened yesterday at 6 in the evening near, in the Chushul area, it's actually, it doesn't augur well. And then, they came through the Razangla pass exactly like they did in 1962, and then they armed with the carbines and then sticks and machetes, and they tried to close in on our post in the south bank of the Pangong. And they were actually given a suitable warning by our troops. And then, they went back after firing a few shots in the air. Now, the narrative from, the Global Times and also the spokesperson of the Western Theatre Command tells a different story altogether. And then, like before, they have actually gone absolutely, they're gone blazing guns, blaming India, and then calling Indian, action extremely provocative. And then it is and then these actions are destabilizing the region and so on and so forth. This is exactly 2 days after our Raksha Mantri met Wang Fei in Moscow to speak about the Chinese aggression. So no amount of talks, no amount of parlays no amount of military, diplomatic, or political level talks, it is going to be of any use whatsoever. This is actually known to everyone, and I'm sure everybody in South Bloc also knows this. And then, most amazing thing is our Raksha Mantri did not want to actually meet the Defense Minister of China on the sidelines of SCO. But they forced him to actually come for a meeting which took place for almost 2 hours and 20 minutes. And at the end of the meeting, they issue a statement saying that India is totally responsible. Exactly the same story all over again. And then 2 days later, is our External Affairs Minister's meeting with his counterpart on the sidelines of SCO. And rest assured, nothing will come out of this meeting, and it will be just an eyewash. You see, actually, it is time we stopped all this wishy-washy kind of talks and showed some aggression, and we should stand up to that their antics. Enough is enough. If at all there is a need to light the fuse in this and then start actually a localized confrontation with China in the southern bank of the Pengang, so be it.
Also, Air Marshal, the tension took place in the Chushul area. So how important is Chushul to China as well as to India, Air Marshal?
No, Deepak, actually, we captured the heights of Blacktop, Helmet, and the Hunchun ridgeline. Even before the Chinese PLA could come there through our Vikas regiment. This has not gone well with the Chinese. In fact, these 3 heights are extremely important for us because it overlooks the area through which the Chinese can actually push in and start launch an attack on us, exactly like they did in 1962 through Razangla and Rachinla. In fact, this overlooks the Razangla area, and there are many gaps there, like Spangur Gap and then Rachinla, Razangla, through which the Chinese army can push in, and they can through multi fronts they can launch an attack on the Indian side. Now, since we are sitting on top, 16,000 feet, we are able to monitor the Chinese movement very cleverly. We are able to monitor them at the at the base, and we can pick them and we can actually give a befitting response, and also actually use our weapons should there be any need. So this has not gone well with the Chinese, and ever since we occupied, they have been trying to actually dislodge us. They made an attempt on 29th and 31st. Now they are exactly 6 days later, they are making another attempt, and this time they have even fired shots in the air. So this is not going to end. This will not end here. They will continue to provoke us, and they will continue to test us. This time, they have come fully armed with the carbines, slung at the backs, and in the evening at 6 o'clock, they have tried to sneak in and close in on our positions. So that area is extremely critical to us. And today, now that has become a flashpoint. If at all any confrontation takes place between India and China, it will be at this point, now or maybe later.
Also, Air Marshal, now speaking about the Chushul region, what are the future challenges in this particular area, Air Marshal?
No, right now the visibility is good. They are able to actually see the movement of the Chinese troops. Our radars and communication systems are working, and then we are able to actually track the movement of the Chinese with our equipment. And we are also able to actually, we have got our long-range artilleries, we have got our howitzers, we have got our mechanized infantry vehicles, and then armor. Everything is ready, and they will all work extremely well in the present weather. Also, another month and a half from now, the weather is going to turn nasty, the visibility will lower, and then probably all the Galwan, actually the valley will actually freeze up. There is also a possibility that the Pangong Lake itself may, drop to sub-zero. So things are going to become extremely difficult even to negotiate. Now, at that time, our armor, our howitzers, our long-range artilleries, our mechanized vehicles, to what efficiency they will work is a big question mark. Secondly, the air car, actually the closest support will become a serious problem because of the weather conditions. Our fighters and our Apaches, will have that much of a problem in to operate during that weather conditions. So this is known to both the sides, but unfortunately, as far as China is concerned, in the northern bank of the lake, they have got they have dug in, they have got excellent infrastructure near figure 6. But no, be that it may, the winter is it's not the time for any confrontation between the two sides. Both the sides know it. So if this is not going to happen before the winter, then you'll have to wait till the complete weather clears, and that will be March 2021. Nobody wants actually such a long drawn out confrontation, and the Chinese somehow want to get us back to the negotiating table and make us agree that the entire lake belongs to them, the south belongs to them, the north belongs to them, and the Galwan Valley belongs to them, etc., etc. So they are in a great hurry to make sure that we accept their conditions, and then we completely surrender our land to them. And before the winter begins.
Also, Marshal, now going by your statements, do you think, as you said, you're saying that the next flashpoint would be with arms and not arm-to-arm, confrontation?
Yeah, it is definitely going to be, a localized, calibrated military response from, our side. And right now, Deepak, there is one thing I must say with certainty. The fuse is waiting to be lit. Who will light the fuse is just a matter of time. China is doing everything possible on this earth to light the fuse. If they light the fuse, there is going to be a confrontation. And believe me when I tell you, as sure as I'm sitting here and talking to you, they are going to light the fuse. There is no denying that. And then the Indian Army knows it extremely well. They are extremely well prepared, completely well stocked. They have managed to, sit on top of the vantage points, all arms in position. They are waiting for Chinese to make that move. If China makes a move and then opens fire on our troops, or on the Vikas Regiment, or the ITBF, as the case may be, then it is going to, start a military confrontation, and there is no denying that. And China is quite obvious. In fact, they want to send a message to their own countrymen saying that, look, we tried to convince India, but India is not getting convinced, and we had to use the force. This is the message they want to convey to their own countrymen and also to the international community. But the only thing is, this time, they have bitten more they can chew.
Right.
They know what awaits them. If they bring it on, fine, bring it on. But then we are ready to give them a befitting response.
Also, Marshal, last time such a confrontation took place it was in 1962, and also it was in the October period as well. So, do you think that this time the Indian Army is well prepared for such a confrontation?
Yeah, of course we are extremely well prepared. That's a reason why we actually occupied those ridge areas south of Pangong. In fact, it was known when the military talks at the commander level, at the corps commander level, started failing. That is an indication to army that, look, these guys are not interested in talks, and they are going to do whatever they have been doing over a period of time. That is the reason why the Vikas Regiment was deployed there, and they were actually patrolling that area. And then when they actually noticed a large contingent of the PLA, they pushed them back, and they occupied these three positions very conveniently. Okay. So, the Indian Army is extremely well prepared, and today they are in a vantage position. and south of Pangong is the place through which the China, if at all they do, China will can launch an attack, and we are well prepared. There are more than 10 gaps there, small gaps through which the Chinese can actually push in, and then they can push their soldiers into towards our area. And the Indian Army is extremely well prepared. And not only that, we have got the backup, we have got actually the infantry regiments, and we have got the artillery, and then all other paraphernalia, including the Indian Air Force at standby at various air bases. Yes, we are extremely well prepared.
Also, Air Marshal, lastly, my question to you is that the External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has said that probably the India and Chinese side should engage in deeper conversations. So, do you think that these deep conversations would bring both the sides to a consensus?
Deepak, I would like to ask Mr. Jaishankar, our External Affairs Minister, sir, what is this deep conversation are you talking about? What is the deep? That means all the conversation we have had so far was not in depth. We actually spoke to them 5 times. You have spoken to them 5 times. There have been 22 special representatives meeting. There has been 5 agreements in 1983. They were all not deep. Sir, please tell me, what is the deep conversation that you are referring to? Are you very sure, sir? If we do some kind of a conversation again with China, things will get sorted out? How sure are you, sir? I want to ask him this question. Let him answer to this, to all of us. You know something, this is all actually wishy-washy kind of a statements coming from the South Bloc. It is time they woke up. It is time they woke up and, face the enemy. You got the enemy at the gates. You need to be little more aggressive and proactive. Giving statements like deep conversation, we will resolve the issue. This kind of a thing we have been hearing for now, ages. We should put it aside, and then we should actually face the enemy like the way it's required to be done, and tell the enemy, sorry, this time there is please get off. This doesn't belong. This area doesn't belong to you, and then we are here, forever to stay, and then get back to your barracks. Instead of doing that, giving such wishy-washy statement is not going to be of any help to anybody, least of all to the political establishment of this country.
Right, Air Marshal, thank you for joining me with all those details. Well, that was Air Marshal B.K. Murali giving us his insights about the ongoing standoff at the LAC. Well, the Air Marshal believes that these deep conversations have already been done, and since 1962 there have been 5 agreements, and they were indeed very deeply discussed and also formed. And if that is not deep enough, then what is deep is what Air Marshal is asking External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, and it still remains to be seen how the Indian government will respond to the Chinese transgression and also the aggression that is being witnessed at the LAC. Whether we will continue to involve in conversations and prolong this matter, giving Chinese the advantage like they had in 1962, taking this to the winter, and well, it all remains to be seen how the government is planning to resolve this particular issue. Until then, until this particular issue is completely resolved and both the sides come to a consensus and we see that peace finally prevails at the LAC, all I request you guys to do is to step out only if necessary, and also to take all the safety and precautionary measures, because COVID-19 still persists in the world and it is our responsibility to stay safe and also stay away from this deadly pandemic. With that, it's a wrap on this live interaction. Many thanks for joining me in this interaction session. Until next time, take care and also stay safe. Thank you for watching.